Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit. Before we get into the video though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Powering the Grand Cherokee L is a naturally aspirated 3.6-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 293 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see how it's flat in the center and then it kind of slopes down on either side. Very simplistic design, but it's beautiful. We've got these cool daytime running lights with the LED headlamps, and then look at the grille here on the Summit. Very fancy looking, that is for sure. And we got a bunch of black trim here at the bottom, and look at kind of like the pattern on it. I don't know if that's going to pop there in camera very well, but it looks cool. And when you put it all together, this definitely has a luxury car front end. Now around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 265, 50, 20 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the wheel design here with the silver. It just matches the overall theme of this car. We've got these body painted fender flares, and then all the rest of the body work is also body painted, except you have that little silver strip right there. And then of course we got a Grand Cherokee badge. And then notice how the mirror cap blacked out and then you got the silver trimmer on the window. And when you put it all together, like I said earlier, this definitely has a luxury car appearance to it, everything being body painted and just kind of like the boxy sloped design. So here's our key fob for this Grand Cherokee. You guys can see we've got our unlock function, our lock function, remote start, the opening here for the hatch, and then the Jeep logo there on the back. Now popping into the rear, you guys can see there's a decent amount of storage space behind the third row. Pretty, similar to other vehicles in this size segment. And then we actually can fold down the third row for even more space. Now, third row can raise and fold automatically. The second row can only fold down with these buttons. You have to raise it up manually yourself. And then when you're all done with everything, just press that button and it'll lower the hatch back down. Really sharp looking LED taillights here. And then you guys can see how that trim kind of continues from the front. And we got our chunky Jeep badge here, our L logo, so you guys know it's the longer version, and we have our Summit badge off to the side, and then we've got parking sensors here at the bottom. Wrapping things up, I do think this is a very good looking vehicle. Let me know what you guys think about the style here on the new Summit. Now taking a look at the door panel here in the rear, you guys can see we've got a sunshade, and then really nice padding here at the top. You guys can see the wood trim down below, and then look at this design here with the stitching. I think that looks very sharp. And then this one has the Macintosh sound system. Really nice piping here on the seat, and then you guys can see the stitching yet again, and then it's perforated all down the center as well. And this one has the captain chair configuration. Legroom here in the second row is actually really solid. We've got a storage pocket. We actually have some vent action here for the rear passengers. We've got our dual zone climate here in the back, heated seats. We got some more vents in the center, a bunch of charging ports, and a full outlet, as well as this like center console with cup holders and everything. It's a pretty cool setup. Getting into the third row is really easy. Just pull this latch and then it pulls the seat up and forward, and you can do it with one arm. Well, now that we're in the third row, legroom, a little bit more cramped. That's to be expected. We got a cup holder here. We got some USB action, and look at these seats here in the back. Pretty cool with all the perforations and the stitching and everything. And by the way, headroom all throughout the back, it's solid. Now taking a look at the front door panel, we got padding here at the top. Then you guys can see the wood trim here. We got our memory seat function. This also has massaging seats. Blind spot monitoring in the mirrors, and then look at this pattern down below. It's so cool. All of our window controls, which are all automatic. You got your mirror adjustments, and then again more stitching and padding down below. And then here's the front seat. You guys can see Summit there, and I'm not sure why that's forward, but anyways, perforated all down the center. Gonna get the cool stitching design on either side. All of your adjustments here on the side of the seat as well. And we got like our light control here. Steering wheel is power adjustable, and then look at like the wood trim and everything. That looks really nice. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, we've got really nice leather trim all around. I like this part right here with the black trim, and then you got some more wood trim here at the bottom. We've got radio controls on the back of the steering wheel with these paddle shifters. This does have adaptive cruise control with steering assist, where you just have to lightly have your hand on the steering wheel, which is a very nice system. It functions really well. Controls for the center stack, and you guys can see the stalks here on the back. So we do have this full digital gauge cluster here in the center, which I think it looks really solid. This is kind of making its way throughout other products within the lineup. And I don't know if it's going to let us do the night vision because it's daytime. So, oh no, it actually does. That's pretty cool. It actually lets us do that. So that's kind of that's so funky looking. But anyways, aside from that, we do have some drive modes. So we've got a sport mode, we've got an auto mode, snow mode, sand, mud, and then we have a rock mode as well. Now this does come with a full 360 camera system. Resolution on it's solid, and it's got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and it has like an off-road view with the little tire markers, which is really good. Now as to the rest of the infotainment system, response time is pretty solid. You guys can see it has stuff like, well, that takes forever to load up apparently. Dual zone climate, heated and cooled seats. Again, you got massaging seats, heated steering wheel. And then up above the infotainment system, we actually have like your auto stop, start, lane departure, stability control, parking sensors, your parking assist, and then your passenger screen to turn that on or off. And yes, this does have the passenger screen, which is kind of like doubles as a second infotainment system, mostly for the radio and all that. But I love the integration. Like, this is one of the nicest integrated infotainment systems in the car industry. And speaking of nice, look at the dash with all the leather and stitching. We've got our dual zone climate controls down below with our radio controls, seat controls, all of that. And then we've got this piano black trim that covers up our charging area with a wireless phone charging pad and all the fun stuff that goes along with that. Drive mode select, four-wheel drive low. We've got our shifter here. It is a dial shifter. It does feel very high quality. And then we've got our air suspension adjustment here, and then hill descent control, and then we've got some cup holder action. And then look at the center console. Really nice with the overall material use. And then we got the glove box lined with felt. And yeah, look at the wood trim that goes across. I think it all looks, again, very nice. Now this does come with Jeep's camera rear view mirror, which is a nice bit of safety tech. Full panoramic sunroof up top, and they got the controls for it, and then just a black headliner. So I'm not sure how well this is going to pop up onto camera, but this is basically the window sticker for this Grand Cherokee L Summit, and it looks like total MSRP is just over $73,000 with options. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, and hopefully you can now see the heads-up display. Both the mirrors, there's two of blind spot monitoring, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So, setting off in the Grand Cherokee L Summit. And I've been living with this for a week, and this is actually, I think, what, the second? Yeah, I think it's the second Grand Cherokee that I've had as a tester. Might even be the third. I can't remember. I've lost track. I reviewed too many cars, guys. But regardless, I actually really like this vehicle. This is one of the vehicles that my wife and I were considering before we bought the Defender. And, you know, even though we chose the Defender, I still have a lot of respect for the new Grand Cherokee, because I think that Jeep has definitely, you know, done a lot to, again, like I said, provide pretty solid value. So first off, seats are really comfortable. The massage function, that's amazing. And with the air suspension, this thing has a really good ride. And we'll actually pop it into the sport mode here so that we can get a full-on acceleration. Woo! Transmission's snappy. Now I will say this V6 in this car is pretty lackluster. It's the entry-level powertrain. I just don't think that the Summit should even have this as an option. I think that 4xe and 5.7 Hemi should be the only engines. 5.7 Hemi standard, 4xe is an option. That's just my personal opinion. Until they get the Hurricane. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But aside from that, like I said, ride quality is really smooth. This, you know, highway assist tech, like the steering and everything, works fantastic. So it's an amazing daily driver. Like I said, this is the best Grand Cherokee ever made, and on top of that, it really does accomplish, you know, what Jeep is trying to do, as in it's a luxury car. Like, it's got a nice interior, it's very comfortable, it does all the luxury car stuff. With that being said, outside of the powertrain, I do have some, I guess, some minor gripes here with, and I want to kind of talk about the Grand Cherokee situation. So, although Jeep has accomplished the whole luxury car thing with this, I just don't think that that's what Jeep people necessarily want. You know, there is obviously a demographic of Jeep people that do kind of want more of the luxury stuff, and that's what the Summit's always been for. But I think for most Jeep people, they buy Jeeps because, you know, historically they were durable vehicles that were really capable off-road. Now, the new Grand Cherokee has, you know, probably one of the most, if not the most, advanced four-wheel drive systems on the planet. But, you know, you can't really, there's not really like a, there is the Trailhawk package, but there's not like an insanely hardcore off-road package on the Grand Cherokee. Like the Trailhawks, it's solid, it can do a lot of crazy stuff, but like, it's got pretty small tires for being, you know, a dedicated off-roader. So I guess what I'm trying to make is, I feel like Jeep's accomplished the task of building a luxury car, but it just seems kind of weird with their brand, if that makes sense. And then the other thing is, I think this needs to have the Hurricane engine. I think that if they really do want to like fully go into the luxury car world, they need to have luxury car engines. The 4xe, it's there. The 5.7 Hemi is also there, but that new Hurricane engine, if this thing had, you know, the high, not even, it wouldn't even need the high output. If this had a standard output, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque roughly, I mean, it would be like RIP BMW and Audi and Mercedes for a lot of vehicles in this segment at this price point. So let me know what you guys think about the Grand Cherokee. But I think really solid vehicle. I think it just needs the Hurricane powertrain, and I do think that Jeep should make like a hardcore dedicated off-roader, like a Rubicon Grand Cherokee. That's what the people want. But let me know what you guys think.